Within our CEO forums, the thing we struggled with as much as any other is a single question. How do you acquire founder-led enterprises without the corporate parent destroying them? We're delighted to have our next discussion with Ruth Handcock, who is CEO of Octopus Money. First, Ruth, thank you very much for coming. And I've seen you talk on many occasions, including the forum. You seem to be one of the most experienced people out there around how you acquire founder-led enterprises and help them scale without destroying them.
So I've learned it's best to bring companies in when they've found product market fit, but they've got some scaling to do. There's nothing quite like the power and determination of a founder with a mission. So the toughest thing for a founder is you spend half your time raising money normally and half your time running the business. Really, the mistake many people think is, oh, well, it's okay. We can take all that risk stuff off your hands. We can take that finance stuff off your hands, take that people stuff off your hands, or you think you're helping. Suddenly the founder doesn't feel empowered anymore. And then that mission drift, that's the biggest thing I've learned, is how to get that balance right and how to make sure that the founder stays deeply incentivized in building their own business as long as possible.
One of the interesting things that we talk with a lot of leaders who are very mission-driven, very values-driven, is the struggle of how they scale themselves.
So when you actually get into leadership roles and you realize that knowing the right answer isn't the game at all, is motivating others to find the answer, ideally on their own. So just recognizing that is job number one. And I think second is the sort of humility of constantly trying to replace yourself, which I think about all the time. I have an uncanny ability to accumulate jobs, so I also have to try and shed jobs as I go as well. So really, I should be trying to package this one up for someone else who can get that brilliant opportunity that I've been lucky to have. So the final rule I have is that your management team is your first team, because that feeling of, does stuff happen when I leave the room? It only happens if they're not having to escalate to you to get everything done. So that leadership team has to feel incredibly tight. The level of trust between the team has to be very high, because you're then the one who is thinking 5 years ahead, but not really thinking about the next month, because that's everyone else's job.
I'm very curious about what you've tried to either institutionalize or bring into rituals that have been able to help some of the things you want to happen, even if you're not in the room.
Because we're creating a category, we get an awful lot of things wrong. And we should get an awful lot of things wrong. So one of the things I decided quite early is I've got to find a way of getting everyone in this business completely comfortable with getting things wrong. So we came up with the stumble of the week. So every time we have an all-company meeting, we start with what's gone brilliantly, who do you want to shout out, what have you completely screwed up this week? Once you do that, you learn so much more quickly. You're braver to try more things. You push yourself harder because the consequence of failure is so much less.
Did you have to go through a period of just expressing your own vulnerability to get people to do that?
Oh, without a doubt. And now I'm perfectly comfortable to stand up and say, oh, you won't believe what I did this week.
I love the idea of vulnerability being a skill set that has an experience curve, because I've heard so many CEOs say, I'm just not that type of leader. Ruth, this has been amazing. Thank you very much for your time with us today.
Oh, thoroughly enjoyed it. Thanks for having me.